Have you ever had a really toxic boss? So you go and find a new job, and on day one they say things like, "We're more than a company, we're a family." Well, that's kinda what it's like starting Mafia the Old Country. If you like the last 3 Mafia games, this is still a great addition and should be enjoyed for what it is. Not bashed as the worst thing in gaming just because there's no swimming animation. In this one, we're going back to early 1900s Sicily, a time when workplace safety was much less regulated, but child labor was much more utilized. Let's get to it. The year is 1904, and we're playing as Enzo Favara, whose dad sold him to the sulfur mines as a kid because you know what they say.
As a child, I yearned for the mines.
But Enzo and his mate Gaetano want a different life from all of this. They're retrieving a hidden money stash they saved over the years to finally move out of home, aka the mines, which has been having tremors, so it's a good time to dip. Enzo even tosses a childhood toy his father gave him because that's been a touchy subject.
If I saw him again, I'd kill him.
On the way out, I see a co-worker with a busted ankle being tormented by our regional manager, Il Merlo. He's right down there with the likes of Micah from Red Dead 2 and Emily from Until Dawn. For instance, when I jump in to help finish the job for him, this is the praise and recognition I get.
Stick your nose where it does not belong again, and you just might lose it. Huh?
He's no Michael Scott, but with our debts nearly paid off, all I can do is roll with the punches. Self-respect? What's that? Outside in the distance, there's a smoky volcano casually going off, which would explain all the tremors. I quickly pray to the shrine of St. Barbara, patron saint of artillerymen and miners, so yeah, I think we're safe now. We swing by Chef Ignazio's, hoping for a good protein intake and clean gains, but sadly we're too late and he's not very empathetic about it either. I lose a game of rock, paper, scissors, so now it's my turn to sneak into the Spadaro's warehouse and fetch a bite to eat. I make my way to the storage area, securing a knife to lockpick my way through and steal this loaf of bread. Somehow he just fits it in those tight clothes without so much as a bulge, and bro could be smuggling coke by the kilos with skills like that. We soon rest up, and Gaetano talks about moving to America and reuniting with his uncle. It's always a good sign when a character has plans for the future. Maybe we'll play as him in a story DLC and he meets a younger Don Salieri. The moment's spoiled when Ignazio barges in, ordering us back outside to work a double shift. First, no food. Now he's forcing overtime on us while the tremors are still ongoing. It was that moment I realized you can't spell Ignazio without spelling, well, you know. Everyone's refusing to work, to the point where bossman Don Spadaro has to intervene, and turns out some of the crew haven't returned in a while. Naturally, this piece of shit Il Merlo sends Gaetano and I to look for them. Down in the deep mine, we soon come across the miners that went missing, and not the kind that Drake's into. They must have forgotten their prayers to St. Barbara, because it looks like a case of gas poisoning. The place starts collapsing like FTX, and our lanterns flare up so we have to make a run for it. We sprint through bursting flames, and squeeze through gaps tight enough to escape Amy Schumer. I even thought I died falling through the platform here, at best getting impaled by broken chunks of wood, but no, turns out I'm okay. We're almost out when Gaetano drops the money and quickly goes back for it. In a shocking twist no one saw coming, Gaetano is crushed by falling rubble and tragically dies. Kinda how I died inside, when I asked out this girl I liked and she said, "Oh, I thought you were gay." Filled with nothing but rage and grief, I confront Il Merlo for sending us down there. His response is giving me a solid right hook, and because HR isn't a thing yet, this escalates into a knife fight tutorial.
Yeah, show him, kid!
Il Merlo gets distracted by the tremors as the place is shaking harder than a fence in Auschwitz, and I leave him a quick little face scar, calling it my resignation. The shelter collapses like your marriage after a Coldplay concert, so I slip away down the cliffside with the Spadaro gang after me. I ride off on a conveniently located horse, escaping the scene while dodging bullets like priests in my youth. We then get a clean title sequence with a really banger soundtrack. Credit where it's due, the cast are already nailing it. Anyway, I wake up from a nap in some rundown old building because Il Merlo and his crew are right on my tail. I try my hand at stealth, and actually do alright, I just need to keep low and I'll be out in a jiffy. Il Merlo catches up to me though, and it seems like I'm done for when along comes Don Teresi. He may look like a chill bloke on the surface, but he's even less happy than I am to see Spadaro's shit kickers. Turns out the Spadaro gang are chasing me on Don Teresi's land, trespassing and breaching a truce between families. Il Merlo tries to claim me like I'm his property, but the boss saves me from an awkward disciplinary meeting and takes me under his protection. I then meet Luca Trapani, underboss in the family and the father of Sam Trapani from Mafia 1. As we ride to the estate, he conducts a quick job interview and shows me to my room in bed. The place could use some TLC, but after surviving more close calls than a dog meeting Christy Noam, I can't really complain. The next morning I'm woken up by Cesare in a way that sends me into absolute panic. Turns out he's Don Teresi's man-child nephew who belittles me as I haul around crates of wine. I then meet Luca's wife Valentina, who's rather lovely despite struggling to hold eye contact worse than Stevie Wonder. I help her out by carrying Peppa Pig to the kitchen so she can prepare tonight's feast. After that, I see Cesare again and he's got a special job for me.
Hey, Gaspare. Enzo's come to help clean out the stables.
You just made my day. There's a shovel inside.
What will you do?
I'll be outside, enjoying the fresh air.
Thinking about how I went from one toxic workplace to another, I then meet Isabella. She's sweet, genuine, and absolutely stunning. This might be the longest conversation Enzo's ever had with a woman, but seems like a tad more than basic kindness. Later that night, Luca checks in on me during dinner, and it turns out we're celebrating Isabella's birthday. Of course, she just so happens to be Don Teresi's daughter, so there goes that 3 AM booty call now out the window. Some time passes, and Luca introduces me to our arms dealer Pascal. He hooks me up with a knife of my choosing that I have to go and fetch from his mother's basement. Luca then gives me a crash course in parrying, then we head to San Celeste for a 50th annual horse race event. Just my opinion, but horse racing and gaming's about as fun as collecting Riddler trophies in Batman Arkham Knight. Luckily for me, I'm only going there to spectate. Never mind, our jockey is too drunk to ride thanks to Cesare, so Enzo volunteers instead. The stakes are certainly high, with Don Teresi's reputation on the line, the Spadaros competing, and most of all, Isabella's watching too. It's time to lock in. I cut it rather close, but end up coming in first place, resulting in some very heavy side-eye from the Spadaro team. Don Teresi's over the moon, and right as I'm about to celebrate, the family's creepass advisor Tino walks on over and ruins the fun.
Quite a race. With all the excitement, I almost forgot why you're here. Deliver this. Don's compliments.
This Fugibutana really has it out for me, but I go about door dashing as wine delivery because apparently I'm still a simple Caruso. Isabella tags along, and we bond over how much we hate Tino, while she also hints at wanting me to stick around. We stop by a fountain she used to visit with her late mother, where she says a quick prayer and I quietly pray for Tino's downfall. We then run into the Spadaro team, with La Ombra, a bully from the mines, making sly remarks about me as an ex-co-worker. It's when he insults Isabella that I hurl the wine tray at him and prepare to slaughter him like veal. At least I thought so, but I mostly just flail around trying to hook him, constantly pressing the wrong button to dodge. Eventually I win, and right as I'm about to end him, Luca steps in and shoos everyone away. Isabella vouches for me, so we agree to just keep this one quiet. Luca then warns me that being seen alone with her is dangerous because gossip spreads like CO2 from Taylor Swift's private jet. Isabella slips me a note to meet her in the garden, and totally ignoring Luca's warning, I show up anyway. I suggest that meeting like this probably isn't the safest idea, and guess who shows up?
You're not a paisana dragged up outside. Put on your shoes.
To cool off, I join Luca and Cesare to prove my hand in debt collecting. This basically consists of scenic horse rides, a few polite visits, and a quarry where some workers are striking. Because it's 1904, unions have as much power in the workplace as a glass hammer, but we try negotiating with the ringleader for a peaceful agreement. As he falls to the ground, flashbacks from my early COD days kick in, and I teabag him without hesitation. Next stop is Port Almaro, where we meet Don Galante and his grandson Leo from Mafia 2 and 3. Payments are light thanks to heavy customs patrols, so Cesare and I sneak into the warehouse for some expensive Empire Bay whiskey. The stealth plays a lot like Hitman until I hide this guard in a crate and he vanishes like Madeleine McCann. Leo distracts a guard, we secure the goods, and business is back on track. Never take the ease of going to a liquor store for granted when people went to all kinds of trouble back then. We part ways with Leo for now and still have one last visit to make. We reach an old farmer to collect what he owes, and he tells us how some bandits raided his water pump, so production's grinded to a halt. We track them down because stealing from the farmer is stealing from us too. I finally get a gun, and round 1 actually goes quite smoothly. It's round 2 where I'm tested for playing on the hardest difficulty. Eventually we clear them, dumping their bodies down a well when Cesare cuts off a bandit's finger, treating himself to a nice gold ring. He pops it in his mouth, and he really could be raw dogging some mad STIs. I mean, the body's not even cold yet. What if there's blood on that ring? We return the water pump, and the farmer's really grateful. That is, until we gang up on him, demanding the money we came for because no one rides for free. It seems a bit rough given everything he went through, but after all, those flash cars and fancy villas don't pay for themselves.
Thieving bastards.
Anyway, that's it for the beginning and for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I enjoyed this game a lot, so if you want to see me ruin more of Mafia the Old Country, leave a like, consider subscribing, and I'll catch you next time.